Hi, this is Tom from 2 Cave Aquatics. It's been a nice day here in the Hudson Valley, New York. Turned out to be a nice evening as well. And this is my 75-gallon deep substrate planted aquarium that I also utilize some tech in. I woke up this morning, my wife told me that I had some new subscribers, so I wanted to say hi to all of them and thank them for subscribing. Actually, quite a few new subscribers. And she mentioned some new comments, and one in particular that I might be interested in, especially. So before I decided on this 75-gallon tank being a deep substrate, dirted tank, cap of sand, and have Neocaridina shrimp in here breeding and multiplying in this tank, and having different species of snails, including rabbit snails. This one's been hiding for a couple of months now. It's finally reappeared here the last couple of days. And some golden apple snails that I recently put in here. They're all doing well. I watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos on Neocaridina care, shrimp care, and snails, and planted aquariums. And that's where I found a gentleman called Father Fish. Is what I consider one of the top out there when it comes to these deep substrate planted aquariums, or natural style. So I watched his videos and took a lot of notes. I would go online and do a lot of further research. I bought his 11 ingredient additive, Father Fish's Magic Dust, he sells online. And I put that in the substrate after the fluoride laterite iron powder in the bottom, and then this soil. I mixed his additive into the substrate, which I give a lot of credit to for the success of his tank, and watching his videos and coming to a good understanding of exactly what he's doing there and trying to accomplish, all the decades of success he's had with it. And that led me to Fishtube, the secrets of history living inside your aquariums, with Alex and some other YouTubers. I did a lot of deep dives in that, even going on Reddit. Some Reddit threads about planted aquariums and some of these guys. Man, there's some rabbit holes you can get into on Reddit. Anyway, I just gleaned all the wisdom from Father Fish and these other people and mulled that over in my mind for a couple months, and came up with what I thought would work for me here in my aquarium, in my circumstance. And yeah, I learned from Alex on Fishtube that, you know, he has aquariums, some of the more natural aquariums, and he also uses filtration in some of his. And so anyway, this is what I came up with, and I'm having a lot of good success. I also ordered another order of Father Fish's additives for deep substrate to put in my 60-gallon aquarium here in the living room. I've got set up. I'm still waiting on some special order stuff to come in. I got an order of spiderwood that came in today. This is the smaller stuff that came in today. I'm still waiting on one big centerpiece, but depending on which way you turn this stuff, each piece that you order is different and very unique from the other. Here's another one. I really like this one. I might even, after I cure it, I might even put it on here I don't know, but I got a bunch of them, of these smaller pieces that came in today, and I'm going to make them aquarium safe just with some hot boiling water, some hydrogen peroxide. I'm going to soak them for a while before I introduce them into the 60-gallon tank. Here's another interesting piece, and just depending on which way you turn this stuff, it just takes on a life of its own. This one you can see through. This is a pretty cool piece, and you can glue them together to create something else. There's another piece, and got another one. This is a pretty cool little piece. I got one last piece here. Got a lot of knots on it, and of course, if it's sawn like that flat, I'm gonna want to put that down so it doesn't show those parts. So that piece would probably go maybe this way, but yeah, I got that, and I'm waiting for the big centerpiece of spiderwood to come in. I'm gonna cure those, make sure they sink, get some of the tannins out. I chose spiderwood because it's far less likely to exude a lot of dark tannins. Now this piece of catappa leaf, this giant catappa leaf, Indian almond leaf, I put in today, and there's another one over here. That one I put in a hot steeping water for about 10 minutes. Now this one I just rinsed off, and it's being held down with a piece of cuttlebone, and you can see my shrimp are all over it. So I haven't taken any of the tannins out of this piece at all. All the fish are doing great, and yeah, I just want to give credit where credit's due, since I got such a bunch of nice comments on the tank looking great. The father fish said it looked fabulous. That just made my whole year. And yeah, you got to give credit where it's due, to Alex and Father Fish, and a lot of the other ones. Even Girl Talks Fish, I learned a lot from her. Corey from Aquarium Co-op, I believe it's KGT Tropicals, offhand I'm not sure. Palmer Aquatics, young man on YouTube, and a few others. Even Caveman Aquatics, Caveman, that's with a K. He raises a bunch of big cichlids. And I learned enough about water change and no water change, and that was one of my auto sinklets. I just love these things. They're worth their weight in gold. Got a fat, healthy tummy, eating up algae, zipping from plant to plant, working on any algae that might be on there. So yeah, it was a great day. Everything's working out well in this tank. I'm still waiting for a few unique items from my 60-gallon tank here behind me, and to get that started here real soon, as soon as those things get here. It's going towards evening, and my silver hatchet fish are gonna look like little mirrors swimming around here, reflecting that light. I just love that. And as far as the worms that I had featured in that other, my last video, I actually saw one over here earlier, came from the rock or whatever and landed on one of these leaves. As soon as one of my dwarf rainbow fish or my neon tetras see it, they're just gonna gobble them up like candy. I've watched them do it. They're just a part of a healthy, balanced tank. Like I said, there's nothing I'm seeing in the substrate. I've only seen a couple of them at any given time in here, and as soon as my fish see them, they gobble them up. One thing I do know for a fact is they are not planaria. I've been using a magnifying glass to keep a close eye on everything. Also got a 1600 power digital microscope that I'm going to be using soon. Add some audio to it so you can see what's in my substrate and water column. But no, they're not, it's not planaria. They don't act or behave, they're not shaped like planaria at all. And on that note, I've got tons of different medications here for just about anything that could possibly come up in my tanks. Trust me, I've got something for anything and everything that could possibly be thrown at me here, even more extensive than my the two stores in town here. I get more stuff than they do. I haven't had to use any of it, and I'd rather not. I learned from people like Father Fish, even when it comes to ick, you know, you can turn the temperature up in your aquarium to a certain degree in the 80s, low 80s, and for a couple of days, and things like that will cure ick. And of course, aquarium salt. Aquarium salt is always one of your first go-tos when it comes to things in your tanks. That and hydrogen peroxide. I've used the hydrogen peroxide in a hair algae treatment here, and had great success with that on these rocks. It's all but gone. It's down to the point where my Amano shrimp and the autocinkless catfish can keep up with it. But like I said, I ordered another order of enough to treat 100 gallons, add to 100 gallons worth of deep substrate of Father Fish's magic dust. He gives the ingredients on that. You know, you can go down and buy it. I can go down and buy that stuff myself, but it just makes more sense to get it from him because I don't need all those big bags and spend all that money on those ingredients. And I've come to trust him on those things. And there's proof here in my tank. And another thing I learned, I believe from Alex, is that I can take some of that those extra additives, I can add a little tank water to it and make little ice cubes out of it. And if I ever choose to, if I see any sign of my plants malnourishment or whatever, I can, instead of fertilizers, I can shove those little ice cubes down and through into my substrate and recap it a little bit with sand, and I'm good to go. And Father Fish mentioned resurrection jar, going down to a pond and getting some biodiversity. I learned that about him from him almost a year ago. I got a 5-gallon bucket outside that I started about 10-11 months ago with water from this aquarium. I did with a water change. I've got leaves and dirt, oak leaves from the yard and dirt, and even some fish food, other things in there. And last summer I had a lot of life in it, including mosquito larvae and lots of other things you can see with the naked eye. I chose to let it season and just keep going, and it's working its way through a New York winter. It's even had ice on top of it a couple times, just like, you know, an inch or half inch or whatever of ice. And when it warms up, I'm going down to a local pond and Roundout River and getting a gallon or so of what I can collect down there in the way of a little whatever's on the bottom of the pond, some leaves from around there, some water and stuff, and add that to it, and then from there give it about a month or so, check it all under a microscope, make sure there's no like dragonfly larvae or anything that would hurt my tanks, and add that to my aquariums. I'm also going to be making another order for some seed shrimp and some other ostracods to add to the tank. I added seed shrimp to this aquarium several months ago, and I've seen them darting around over here in the corners with the magnifying glass, and I've seen them in the substrate. They're still alive. That was a good move, and I gotta get back in focus here. And let's see what else. Yeah, the red plants are doing great. They're almost perfectly matching the color I chose from the wall, and go well with Jim's artwork. The artist that my wife and I inherited our home from. I'm going to be doing some work on my